Hello there. MPs are now visiting the sins of siblings onto our historical figures so that they can tear down more statues to appease the woke. So Edmund Burke, an Irish-born statesman, economist, philanthropist and slavery abolitionist, as well as Westminster MP, is under threat of being cancelled by having his statue torn down for the sin of having a brother, Richard, who was a successful merchant and Caribbean land speculator. And on that basis, the thinking goes, Richard must have been involved in the slave trade, and because Edmund is his brother, then he also must be guilty too. Despite copious evidence that Edmund Burke himself found the practice of slavery abhorrent. So Edmund Burke is now on the Transatlantic Slave Trade Register. And get this, there's a school in Washington, D.C. called the Edmund Burke School, and yes, it is named after the British statesman Edmund Burke, and the school proclaims itself as progressive and based on Burke's ideas. But a committee of 11 MPs set up by the Commons Speaker Lindsay Hoyle and chaired by Tory MP Dean Russell could now look into whether or not pictures and statues of Burke should be removed from Westminster. Anything to appease the woke, remember. So current MPs are now looking back hundreds of years and judging previous MPs by looking for anything to find fault with. If this is now the sort of thinking that goes on in Westminster, then MPs today should themselves be held to those exact same standards. In fact, let's widen the net, as that is what will inevitably happen in this woke destruction of UK heritage anyway. It won't stop at just siblings, will it? So any MP found to have family connections with a lawbreaker, a son, father, wife, daughter, whatever, should be cancelled from their seat. And those with dodgy friends should also be investigated. Why not? If those MPs are willing to visit the sins of the sibling on others, then they should all suffer the same fate today. And with the way things are going, every single statue, painting and mural will end up being taken down anyway. So why have any at all? In fact, if we're going to do this, wouldn't it be better to get ahead of the power curve right now and get rid of the Westminster finery and replace them all with statues and pictures of people that really matter? Like the unknown miner who ended their days coughing their lungs up, the unknown child carer who looks after disabled parents, or the unknown child forced up the chimneys to sweep them, or the unknown slave of all colours, or the unknown soldier, sailor and airman who died or got horribly injured through a lack of investment in defence. And how about the unknown nurse who did all that unpaid overtime, and the unknown cleaner who makes our lives that bit safer, and the unknown shelf stacker, and the unknown delivery driver? How about the unknown food bank, and the unknown road sweeper, or the unknown old age pensioner who died alone from cold and hunger and wasn't discovered for weeks? Those would be much more apt and to the point. At least then MPs and lords would be surrounded by and constantly reminded of the very people they were put there to serve and the things they are meant to prevent. Because surrounding them with images of wealth and power seems to have the opposite effect on them.